Been another long week without you, and we are definitely glad to be back with you. So, Jim's traveling, so he's going to be with us for a little bit of time, at least for the important Yankee stuff, and then he's going to have to bounce out, and then it's going to be me and John running the show from then on. Hopefully, you guys are staying somewhat cool. I know most of the country, except for the South, I think is dealing with a bunch of rain, but the rest of us are sweating our asses off, to say the least.
Yes.
I think it's 103 out here in Seattle today, which is insane. Super, super hot, but it is what it is. We pass the time with sports, as always. So we definitely have an interesting topic to talk about after the Yankees got swept again by the Boston Red Sox. Falling apart. Sitting in fourth place right now, firmly in fourth place. Thank God for the Orioles, or else, man, I don't know what that division would look like. It'd be disgusting. So the big question for today is, what is the future of Aaron Boone and the Yankees? I mean, it seems like something's got to give here. This team has too much talent, too much money to be playing this badly. So, at what point, I'm curious to see what you guys think, at what point do the Yankees either say we're all in on Boone, or do they jump ship, set an example, make a statement, and try and salvage the season? I mean, I know it's only 4.5 games, I believe they're out, but this team does not look like it's competitive right now. So we'll definitely talk about a couple other things, some other fun sports stuff afterwards, but this is going to be the main opening topic. So with that, let's start the show.
Welcome to the Bean Apple Podcast.
Belichick. I mean, I text him all the time. He just doesn't answer.
Somehow got mono. God knows who he was making out with.
Somebody had given me 2 tickets to a Jet game, and I had to run into a store. Came out, they broke my window, and they left 4 more tickets.
All right, so
I always laugh at that.
yeah,
it's like 51st dates. I laugh at the same exact joke every single Monday. Every Monday. Because it's so true. I don't even know if it's a joke. The worst thing is, it's so believable that it's funny.
Oh, Lord.
Wait, you think I make up stories?
I don't, Jim. I would never say that. You're an honest and genuine man. I would never accuse you of that. And honestly, the story is very believable. I mean, let's face it. It's the Jets.
Well, it's Jersey.
Of course it is.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Not so much Jersey as the Jets, man.
I wouldn't be surprised if somebody broke your window in North Jersey. I mean,
I would. They got it for like a birthday or Christmas present, so they had to act like they were going.
Yeah.
And what's the best next? I mean, why not smash a window and leave it for somebody?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Alex, stay cool there. 2 ACs and 94 in your house. Oh,
might as well just open up the windows and put ice cubes on your head, bro.
Yeah. Just lay some towels down and just go roll around. Oh,
sit
Lord.
in the tub.
Yeah.
God, stay cool, Alex. And Jacob, absolutely the Yankees suck.
He led right into that.
You and I agree on something. That is amazing.
This early in the show, too.
I know.
That's awesome. So, John, you want to, before we go into this, do you have anything you want to say?
So, I mean, I wish we could play back the beginning of the baseball season when all I heard was, oh, it's the Yankees and everybody else. The Red Sox are going to be in the cellar, yada, yada, yada. So now, what are we on? June 28th? We're approximately, 70 games in?
No,
almost
halfway.
80 games? Oh, 78 games in.
Yep.
We've only played the Yankees 6 times, and, Jim and I were questioning that. It's probably good for the Yankees right now because they never win a game. I mean, so far we're 6-0 this year. A couple games have been close, but so here's the Yankees season in a nutshell. And Jim, I don't know if you watched it. Was it yesterday or the day before? 4 infield hits in the first 2 innings, and they scored like 4 runs. So their shifts are off because the hits were basically because of the shifts, if you look at them. So their shifts are off. You got guys striking out. You got guys coming up with bases loaded, can put the game out of reach with 1 hit. They're striking out. They're not clutch hitting. Boone just sits in those dugout stairs and just looks like he has no idea what's going on. And it's probably fear because he's coaching the Yankees. you're only not in last place because, like Joe said, Baltimore is 26 games out already, I think, right? Are they 26? 23. Sorry, Baltimore fans. I apologize. But, I mean, the Yankees are 6.5. They're a -4 in differential. I mean, they just look flat.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's compare it to last year. Granted, I know it's a short season. Red Sox, basically the same team. I mean, honestly, basically the same team. And what's the difference? Alex Cora. And all joking aside about cheating, I don't want to hear the crap, but I mean, that attitude has come back to the Red Sox dugout where they're having fun. Every time they hit a home run, they push the shopping cart in the dugout. I mean, it's just quirky things like that. They're playing small ball. You know, I mean, if you would have told me that the Red Sox were going to beat the Yankees 4-2 with or 9-2, but I mean, the game was out of reach by 4-2 with 4 infield hits, I would have called you crazy, especially with bases loaded at one point with 1 out.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's like there's been a couple of games there where they somehow look like they're fighting back. They put themselves in a position, they get the bases loaded, and then nothing happens. Right? It's just enough to hold you in to keep watching.
Right.
And then there's nothing. There's nothing that happens after that. And it's over and over. I mean, even it's the players on the team, right? Odor comes in and you know, he gets a couple of hits and then he does nothing for a while. Then he gets one big clutch hit and you think, okay, and then nothing for it's like there's no consistency. There's no leader on the team. There's no fire, there's no passion. There's no guy that's like the and I was hoping Odor was going to be the guy. I thought he was going to be kind of the leader, right? He's kind of fiery and gets on the mound and he's talking to the pitcher. He's the first one on the field when it's a big hit and I thought they might feed off that, but man, it's like I mean, do you have to let Frazier go and Andujar down and bring in a bunch of guys from AAA and try and mix it up that way? Because you know we talk about we're buyers, but I mean we have a month left. And it's hard to say what is going to be what are they going to do? Are they going to unload everybody again? We're going to unload Chapman and Britton and Judge and try and get prospects back for them, or are we going to ride it out?
No way. I mean, you know, all kidding aside, the Yankees can't sell. For one, they're only 6.5 games out. So even if the All-Star break was right now and they stayed pat, you know, I mean, it's still doable for everyone except for Baltimore. But like you said, who's the leader? Who's the Jeter on that team? Who's the Mariano on that team? Who's the Don Mattingly on that team?
Thurman Munson. Right?
Who's somebody that when Boone isn't talking to him, that player is bring him in the dugout like Pappy used to do for the Sox. All right, everybody, let's go. Pull your head out of your asses and let's play some baseball.
Right.
I mean, they got the
have
talent.
A players only, right?
Yes.
Have a players only meeting, right? No manager. Hey guys, what the hell are we doing here?
Yeah, what is going on? You know, let's pull our head out and stop playing. So is that Judge? Because quite honestly, I think he could be. Just because he's young, it doesn't matter. Stanton, I mean, Stanton's your $300 man. $300 million man or whatever he is, 400. I mean, the guy's getting paid like a leader. Doesn't make him one. I know that. I mean, I don't know his history for that. I don't know his background. But, I mean, somebody needs to take charge of that team because Boone isn't. And, God, we were joking about this before. Is he going to be gone by the All-Star break? I don't know how he makes it past it unless they go on some killer, 13-game winning streak.
I don't think they'll do it. I don't think they'll fire him midseason. I don't. I mean, unless he resigns, unless he claims health reasons with his pacemaker or something, I don't see them doing it. It's not what we do, right? Unless something crazy happens. But I can't see going into next year again, especially if we just kind of keep on playing this mediocre baseball. Win a game or two, lose a couple, win one or two, lose a. There's never like a 9 out of 10 streak or something big, right? And I'll tell you, Phil Nevin, the third base coach, I'd have no issue moving him right in. This guy's got fire. He knows the game. He knows the team. And I think he would lead in it probably the total opposite of what Boone does. Boone's too laid back. and just kind of old.
Welcome,
You got out of
Travis.
jail? Good.
What did you
good,
eat for your
nice.
first meal out of Facebook jail?
Oh,
Oh,
welcome back. Welcome home,
yeah.
brother. Yeah.
But I think he'll make it this season. I do. I don't think they'll fire him mid-season. That's not what we do. And but next year, I don't see him back. No, I don't see how you can. I really don't see how you can. What has he done? Right? I mean, you got the pieces
Right.
there. Okay, we've had an injury or two, but we've had most of the guys on the field, and it's still not working. And I get you have to play with who they gave you, right? I mean, we really don't have a center fielder since Hicks went down, right? I mean, we've had problems in the bullpen. Britton's been down. O'Day's been down. We don't have Severino still, and Voit was down for a while. It's just been But still, the other guys need to step up. I mean, they're major league players. They're the Yankees. They got to play. You get paid to do a job. Do your job.
So you brought up a good point, Jim. So he inherited that team, of course. Are they so now? Is it the coaching or is it the players? You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, they got a 3.66 ERA. I'm looking at it right now. So a very respectable ERA. Let's see, hitting wise.
But it's the same thing. The pitching goes up and down, right?
Right.
We have one good run through the rotation, and then we have a terrible run, and then there's a good run, a couple of good starts, and then a couple of. It's never consistent, and it doesn't even matter what teams we're playing. We can make terrible teams look good at times, and
it's you guys play down.
I'll tell you, it's
competition.
disappointing because this is what that's right.
So
that's right.
They're batting
Just figure
235 as a
it'll
team.
happen.
Oh,
okay. That's great.
So Judge, we talk about Stanton striking out a lot, which he's missed a little bit of time. So Judge has struck out 83 times in 267 at bats.
Wow.
Yep.
That is, and how he's batting 285 is beyond me. I mean, that's just insane. Yeah. So he either strikes out or gets a hit.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no walks mixed in there, huh?
Yeah. Well, you know what the difference is with him?
No walks, no
The difference this year, right? The difference this year with him is he was the king of the full count, right? For the last couple of years. Now he's swinging at the first pitch, which he normally didn't do. He would take. He was guaranteed 6-7 pitches every at bat because he always went full count. Now he swings at the first, usually fouls it off or misses it. Then it's strike two right away. So he's almost down 0-2. And then there's so many low strikes or change-ups down in a way that he swings over and misses. And it's almost like the same – they're following the same pattern. Every pitcher, strike one, strike two, just right over the plate. And then down and away, he swings over the top and misses it. And it's just – But yeah, like you said, when he does hit, he hits. It's either a hit or a strikeout. That's it.
If
he puts it in play, it's a hit.
I mean, he really does, but he's walked 41 times. So I just looked at that. That's a lot. You know what I mean? So he does have a crazy strike zone, but
right. So when he gets out, it's by
so
a strikeout.
many low.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a lot of strikeouts. But he swings and misses a lot, too. I mean, he may get rung up on some high stuff just because he's tall or, maybe a little bit lower. But, I mean, he swings and misses a lot. So,
yeah.
You know what I want to see, though? I mean, so all of them strike out. And it's they smile, unless it's a bad call, or they got fooled or something. I want to see somebody break a bat over their knee. I want to see somebody bang the ground. I want to see something happen where they're angry that they made an out, that they struck out, right? It's like you strike out, smile, walk back to the dugout, talk to you other. No, they're joking around, and I even see them talking with some of the Red Sox. I saw Urshela talking with somebody on third. We're getting killed, and they're like, hey, where are you going for dinner tonight? What? No, that's not. What is going on? I don't understand. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So that's the other issue with this team, though, is if you get rid of Boone today, I had to look it up because I don't even know, but Carlos Mendoza is the bench coach, who would most likely step into that interim head coach position, right? I mean, that's the natural pecking order of things. I can't imagine how he would do any better. I don't even what's his experience.
What's he going to do? Nothing.
Yeah. So what's he going to do? And the other issue, and John, I think you nailed it, was who on that team is capable of taking the lead? Who is capable of being Jorge Posada or Derek Jeter? You know, Paul O'Neill. Like who's got the fire? Who's got the leadership? Who's got that persona? That follow me. I got this. I'm gonna pull us out of this thing. That's what Jeter was, or Posada, or those guys back in the 90s and the early 2000s. I mean, things went sideways, and they grabbed people by their collars and drug them back into line. Like that. This team, who is that person?
Right. To me, it's got to be Judge. How can it not? He's got the size factor, right? He is the face of the Yankees right now, and whatever you want to call it. I mean, you look at the Yes Network; it's his face on there, right? Him and Durant for the Nets. I mean, he's the face of the Yankees. So to me, he's the leader, right? Yes, he's not the captain, but he's got to be the guy that says we're having a players-only meeting, and we got to get this together right now. Either you believe in his team, or let us know, and we're sending it down. I mean, I don't understand how nobody's stepping up. And it's almost like it doesn't matter, right? We're getting paid, whatever. No.
Yeah. But does Judge have that personality is he gonna be that
gonna
person?
Have to get it.
Well, I mean, for the money and for what they do.
I mean, he has it inside. I mean, there's times where you see he's mad, right? But he's got to do it. He's got to let it out.
You know, I'm willing to bet if we went to about this time last year, or maybe even later, in the season, that I was talking like Jim was talking now, and he was talking like I am. What a difference a year makes. Now, I know the season was shortened last year, but I mean, if we go over the baseball shows, this is how I felt last year.
Yep.
And Jim, this couldn't be happening to a better person, bro, than you. It's not that I dislike you, but the fact that you love that Yankee team and they're not doing well, I know, and that's why I'll tell you what. I'm a little surprised that the Yankees are playing as bad as they are. I thought with Cora coming back, the Red Sox would be better. I honestly wasn't really expecting 600 baseball. I wasn't. I mean, again, not with the staff, but he's turned that staff around too. Yeah. And now Sale's throwing some bullpen sessions. Man, if he can come back to 85% Sale, because Erod finally looked good against you guys. He went into the 8th the other day, so I'm happy with that. But oh man, it's gonna be a fun second half, and there's still 13 games in the first half, so 13 games. So,
but Garrett Cole looks terrible ever since this spider tag thing has come out. Like his rotation's down on his curveball drastically. His pitching performances since that crackdown that MLB came down with, he has been a completely different pitcher. And it's like, man, is that the success? Is that the cause of his, being the pinnacle of pitching really in the majors for the last couple of years? He's been untouchable, and all of a sudden they get rid of this spider tack stuff, and now that's it. Like, he's just a normal pitcher again. And that's the guy you need to take the mound, throw a nine inning, no hitter or a complete game shutout, and just dominate and just turn everything around. And he can't seem to find it in the last 2-3 starts since this change is gone. He looks human.
So Kathy brings up a good point with Cole being the leader. Who knows? Maybe he is. Just because he's a pitcher, he doesn't have to be an everyday player.
Yeah.
But you would just assume that one of the everyday players, and who knows? Kind of like Carlos is saying, who says he has to be that guy? Maybe Judge is not a leader. Great players aren't always leaders. They're just not. Some people don't want that role. Some people don't want it at all. It's not their comfort zone. So,
and Cole was on a championship team, right? So maybe he can bring some of that and explain that, and take the young guys under his wing. But, I just Judge is the face of the team. To me, if he can't get there, he's got to figure out how to do it, right? Someone's got to mentor him and show him how to be the leader of the team. He can go call Reggie Jackson, call Thurman, not Thurman, call Reggie, call some of the older Yankees. You can't call. Call Jeter up, right? I mean, come on, you gotta do something, right? You can take a class. Can you take a leadership class, Joe?
Of course you can.
You can. You can.
Maybe if he calls the Bean Apple.
Podcasts on that.
Maybe if he calls the Bean Apple. Joe and I have been through enough leadership classes to talk leadership until we're
blue in the face.
Yeah, letters are coming out of our nose. You know.
Why don't we volunteer? Let's volunteer to mentor him then.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll mentor him. All right. I'll mentor him. All right.
Send him a tweet, Joe.
Oh Lord. Yeah. I love sending tweets out into space and never to get a response.
Send him the ALS. Exactly, Carlos. We'll start him at the ground. We'll start him at the first level.
Huh. All right. So Jim, you're saying ride it out to the end of the year, start over next year, no matter what ends up happening.
I'm not saying that's what I want to have happen, but I think that's what the Yankees will do. Cashman's still saying Boone's the man, right? He's our guy. You know, he's got to deal with the team that he has. But yeah. Is it Cashman? Cashman saying, hey, we're looking. We're always making phone calls. We're seeing what's out there. And I mean, you look at Ottavino, right? We traded Ottavino to you guys. Ottavino couldn't hit anything, right? I mean, he couldn't pull balls over the plate. And all of a sudden he goes up, boom, 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 strike one, strike two. Everybody pitches against the Yankees and strikes out. Like they couldn't do that last year. Last year, if it was coming towards home plate, it was darting outside. So all you had to do is stand there. If the ball's coming at you, it's going to end up over the plate. Then you hit it. So it was one or the other, right? Either way, it's going to bend right in. So you knew what to do. But against the Yankees, I guess he changed his approach, and now we can't hit him. Yeah. So that's great.
He knows how to pitch to everybody.
I guess not when he was with us, though.
Right. Now he
couldn't handle the big city.
No,
Boston's another story. No.
There we go. That's the hate. Let the hate run through you, Jim. Let it. Because as of right now, I don't know if you know this, Jim. The AL East goes as follows: Boston Red Sox, Tampa Bay, Toronto, Baltimore, and the Yankees. I'm putting Baltimore ahead of the Yankees because you know what? You have to feel bad for Baltimore. All right, you got to feel bad for them. It's a pity party in Baltimore. But the Yankees are 6.5 out. I mean, they're only 3 games over 500. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Boy.
And now we got the Angels and Ohtani coming in, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, the Angels really, except for Ohtani, they have nothing. Right? I mean, Trout's out. They got rid of Pujols. I mean, I don't even know what they're doing. Did you know what the Yankees are doing tonight? 10-year-old go back and see. 70-year-old would beat a ball girl. Wow.
Yeah, I posted that up on our.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's I posted it up on our page. It's pretty nice. I don't know what night it is.
She said tonight, man.
Finally tonight. Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, I did post up the video. It was really cool on our page.
It's awesome.
I don't know if you guys got to watch it, but yeah, she wrote a letter when she was 10 trying to be the Batgirl. Apparently the ownership back then denied it for whatever reason. She kept the letter all these years. She's now 70 years old. And Brian Cashman her daughter reached back out to the Yankees, and Cashman responded back, and she's going to get to finally live that dream. And she's
actually
in tears,
good for the Yankees. That's cool shit.
I mean, that's been her dream her whole life.
I hope they're going to have the net up in front of her. I mean, you can't put her on third base with Stanton up. Right, if she's down, I would put it down maybe the right field line.
Put her down first base line. Yeah,
where's she going to be? Right, but have a little portable net. I mean, come on, those balls are rockets coming out.
Yeah. Chances are Stanton will strike out at least twice, and so will Judge. So she should be okay, Jim.
Should be safe.
Oh God! You like that, huh? You make yourself laugh. Got jokes?
I do.
He's got jokes.
Somebody has to laugh, Jim. Somebody has to.
No, it's good. That's an awesome story, Jim. You should definitely check it out on our page. It's a really cool,
I will.
Really cool story that they did. Well, they just recorded the Zoom call, but Super cool. And Cole did say Garrett Cole was on the Zoom call and said that he would be there to help guide her through and do all that stuff. So he's taking on a leadership role right there.
Nice.
Taking on a leadership role with a 70-year-old.
Nice.
Now he needs to do it with this team. So, but yeah. So I think it looks like Jim's getting running out of time.
Yeah, my time's almost up. We were in the water park all day, and my son's at my side here wanting me to go in the pool. So
Yeah.
I think I'm going to jump off if there's nothing else. We're good with the Yankee stuff there. You
We'll still laugh at
crashing.
him.
Yeah,
My mother will
she'll
will
be
chip
here.
in here and carry the load.
Yeah. All right, man. Have a good time cooling off in the pool. I wish I could do that. I am sweating buckets up here right now. I'm trying to keep cool, but whew, God. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
have
brutal
fun.
all over. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Enjoy
Thanks,
the water,
guys,
and
and,
we'll talk to you
Have a
next
good
week.
night. Enjoy your vacation.
You got it. Thank you. Take care.
Later, bud.
So Joe, I mean, honestly, I don't see how they can keep Boone. You know, they talk about bringing. I like that.
Okay, I'll keep it like this.
Pretty cool. But I mean, if Nevin is the hoorah guy, why not give him a shot for, 70 games, 60, 70 games, whatever. I mean, you have to try something.
I mean,
if
you
it's
would
going to be
think.
flat baseball by
Yeah.
that team. I mean, I don't see how you can. I really don't.
No, but the other problem that you run into though is if Mendoza is the bench coach and you go and pull the third base coach to lead that team, what are you saying to the rest of the coaching staff? Like, what is this guy even doing as the bench coach if you're nominating the third base coach over it? And I mean, in reality, they probably all. I mean, I feel like I could step in and manage a baseball game. It's not hard to manage a game. I don't think it's hard to manage people, but
Right.
we know the game well enough that you know lefty on lefty matchups are great, and there's so much analytics and everything that tell you like this person can't hit this or that or the other thing. There's not much that goes into it. Even you talking about the guys who have the little cards, laminated cards in their pockets. That this guy hits it here 90% of the time. The game is basically broken down to just a complete spreadsheet of numbers that you could just read through and adjust. It's not like back in the day where you had to have like intimate knowledge of everybody and tendencies and what it was just from your experience. It's just it's all there. So how do you motivate these guys, which you shouldn't have to do, but how do you take that to that next level? That's the hardest thing in managing anything, and you know that as well as I do, is how do you get people to respond when things are hard, right? It's easy to respond when things are easy and everything's going great, but once you hit adversity, how do you break through that hump? And Boone standing on the side of the dugout, shaking his head and shoulders and what do you? That's not what's going to do it. You can go out and get ejected from a game, but that's not going to fix it either.
Right.
Like,
He just seems very passive. He doesn't seem like he's trying to cut things off. I mean, just his demeanor, and maybe that's him. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the guy obviously very well, but just his demeanor standing on the side of the dugout. I mean, you can't tell if they're winning or losing, which is great. That's a Bill Belichick look. You never know. But the problem is he has zero reaction to anything. You know what I mean? You never see him get upset. You never see him get happy at all. You just don't see that emotion. So I don't know. Maybe that's why the players look like that. Maybe that's why they're talking about, where they're going for dinner instead of worrying about winning. I don't know. I did not hear Nevin's explanation. I don't know if you did, Joe.
no.
I
I saw something where Boone was backing him, saying he wouldn't have anybody else at third, and basically had his back 100%. But I didn't.
Exactly,
I
Carlos.
didn't hear
Even Bill gets pissed.
Yeah, I want to see if it's me. I want to see some Lou Brown stuff in there. Everybody's got excuses, or a heart attack. Just a heart attack. I did. Boom. Show me that kind of like get in there and just start.
Every time you hit a ground ball, you owe me, or a fly ball, you owe me 25 push-ups.
right there in the batter's
Right there
box.
in the batter's box.
Yeah.
I don't even want you to run the first.
No, that's fine. Just Robinson Cano it and
Exactly.
just drop and give me the push-ups
stand
instead.
there.
So
Just stand there.
yeah, it's you've got to do something to change that, and you've got a bunch of guys that are highly paid. You know, I mean, Cole and Stanton are still two of the highest paid players in baseball. So how do you motivate that? Like I said, when things aren't going great and life isn't all rainbows and unicorns and cupcakes, how do you change guys that are making so much money that it doesn't matter? You know,
Right.
That's hard to do. Like winning is everything when you don't have anything, but when you've got everything, why are you gonna you still gonna kill yourself?
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
Cole's got the championship. He's got $324 million. You know, but how do you motivate that? What's left? You know, that's hard.
Right.
I don't even really know how to answer that question. I really don't, unless it's putting the onus on him to turn things around and using, making him feel like he's got the power to influence and to change what that team is doing. That's the only way to get the buy-in from him. And once you get the buy-in from the top, then you could get that trickle down to the other guys that are half-assing it or not giving it their all. But you've got to get the top buy-in and then let that flow down. And Boone's not doing it. That's the problem. Girardi could do it. Torrey could do it. Jeter could do it. But that's what the captain does, right? And that's what great management and great leaderships do. And it's not easy. It's not easy at all. So I don't know. I don't know where they go. I figure they continue to go down. I don't know. They got, like I said, they got the Angels, and they got the Mets, and then they come out here to Seattle, which I do have tickets. I'm taking my mom to a game because she's a huge Yankees fan, obviously, and she comes on this show never to support me. So I still love her, but
of course you gotta take care of Mom.
I know. I figured she'd be on today with the Yankees highlight, her headline, but yeah, we're gonna go on Wednesday night. So go up there. Hopefully, watch them get swept by Seattle, which would be awesome.
Please let that happen.
That would be the greatest.
Please let that happen.
So I was just reading today that the Mariners are like one of the most surprising teams. This year by far, but like over I think it was from preseason expectations to the midway or through through 72 games or something like that right now.
Yeah.
Their swing from expected wins to actual is greater than like almost every team in the last 20 years, from what they were expected to be to what they actually are. Because right now they're
3 games over 500, 7.5 out. I mean, not playing terrible baseball. They're the same record as the Yankees, really.
Right.
Percentage points wise, they're the same as the Yankees right now.
With a team that has an eighth of the talent on it, really. It's absolutely true. And you look at what they've done. Kyle Lewis has been hurt most of the year. Marco Gonzalez, who was supposed to be the number one, has over a 5 ERA. Justice Sheffield, who they traded for the Yankees, who had a great end to the year, has been terrible. Just a lot of the guys that you expected to step up aren't, but the team is playing ball, and that's the big difference. Is there's a lot of young guys that are hungry and they are pushing, and you could see the push that they're pushing onto the veterans for something, and it's refreshing to see. It really is. It's awesome. So I wouldn't be surprised if they can keep this going and finish, probably mid 80s for wins. I don't think they're going to push for 90, but I wouldn't be surprised to see between 80 and 85 wins. The rest.
That would be something for them. And were they expecting that? Probably not. Maybe they were. Maybe they were.
Yeah, I think it was like low 70s, 70, 74, 72, something like that going into it. So, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see, but they're sitting at like you said, 41 wins right now. If they can double that for the rest of the second half plus 13 games, right? Remaining till so. That's not unreasonable. It really isn't. So they're fun to watch this year. That's for sure. But yeah, all right. So what else? I cannot remember now.
So football wise, man, it's been a little quiet, I think, for all of our teams. I was reading a little bit the other day.
Yeah.
They had a cool article on that four letter sports network
Yep.
about will the Jets change their narrative by working out a long term deal with their safety there that they franchise.
Yeah, Marcus May.
Yeah, because they don't. I mean, let's face it, they don't do well at keeping their own players.
No.
They almost rival up with Jacksonville if you think about it. Jacksonville is drafted really well, and they just can't keep their players. So, will the Jets change their tone by signing him to a long-term deal? So you let Adams go. You got May now. You're paying him $10 million this year, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So why not average a $10 million contract for 3 years? Guarantee 2 of it, or a 4-year deal and guarantee 3 of it, and then go from there. I mean, you're going to pay him it anyways.
I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, give him a 4-year, say a 4-year, $40 million.
4-year, 40, and then guarantee $30 million.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, he's a safety. He's not top. He's not the upper echelon of safeties, but he's damn good.
Yeah.
Very, very good safety. So
he's a leader. You know what I mean? And you're paying for that too. So with a young team.
Right. And it sets that precedence, and the Jets are going to have to do it eventually. That you guys, you play hard for us. We're going to take care of you, and you're going to get yours, and you're going to continue to help this franchise grow and develop, instead of like they did with Crowder and say, hey, you've played great for 3 of the 4 years you were here, and you've done everything we've asked.
But we need you to take a pay cut.
And we need you to take a pay cut because we only have $27 million in cap space, and we need to get 3 more so we can say that we have 30.
Right.
It's just it's not the right thing to do. But I would love to see May get locked up for at least 4 years. He hasn't pulled any of the Jamal Adams antics, nothing of that nature, which is nice to see. And Seattle's still not working on anything significant with Adams.
So I was reading about that too. So you give up 2 firsts, you got to work on something. If you gave all that up, was it just to win a Super Bowl last year? You know what I mean? Was that or maybe this year? I don't know. But you gave up 2 firsts for a safety. So I sure hope to God you were going to pay him, and I think you have to. You gave up all that. First, the picks. I mean, the guy is a hybrid safety. He's a sack machine if he wants to be. He's all over the field. He's not as good as...
he set the record for sacks by a defensive back last year.
Right. So, but what's the guy from Pittsburgh? Help me out. He retired. Safety.
Troy Polamalu.
I don't think he's to that level. Not yet.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody ever will be. But I'll tell you what. I mean, he's pretty damn close to it. Yeah, he's pretty damn close to it. He's still a young player. Yeah. So, I mean, who knows? But I think you got to pay him. I think you have to pay him.
Yeah, but are you going to drop 20 plus million a year on him?
I mean, I wouldn't want to see my team do it, but how else are you going to justify trading 2 firsts if you're not going to keep him? If your intention wasn't to keep him, why trade for him?
Yeah.
Unless they thought they were going to win it all last year.
Well, I guess what you could do is take a look at what those 2 firsts were actually going to cost you anyway.
Yeah.
And then give them that. I mean, I don't know what the 23rd pick in the draft, what that contract is, because they're set prices. They're already set.
I don't think it's $20 million. I don't even think three of those rookie contracts would add up to 20.
Yeah, maybe if they were top 5, but those guys make good money. But 23, they'll probably be. Yeah. I imagine they'll be somewhere in the low to mid 20s again this year.
Right,
is what that pick's going to equate to, because it's Russell Wilson and he's still going to win games. So, I don't know, but if you take that, mix that with however much more to get to that, like what would it actually cost you when you subtract what the pick value what you would have paid those guys anyway, and then does that make it an easier pill to swallow? Because maybe now you're only paying him $15 million a year,
right?
out of pocket
It's
because of those, but you're not paying those picks. So
true. I got you.
yeah, I don't know, but I mean, also he said he wanted to go to Dallas when he was with the Jets. That was all he wanted to do was go to Dallas. That was like his entire objective. So maybe he just plays it out and then tries to go to Dallas, whose defense is atrocious and would probably jump at the opportunity. I don't know. I just where'd my sound go? Can you hear me? Oh, that was weird.
Yeah.
Literally just cut out. All my sound cut out.
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah.
So, and when you think about Seattle, so they had 3 picks last year, right?
Yeah.
That's it. How many do they have in 2022? I'm gonna look this up real quick because I'll tell you what, they may be in some trouble in the next couple of years. As of today, they in line to have 7 picks, not a first rounder. And the Seahawks, their other 6 picks, extra selection, and the 4th from the Jets also part. So they'll have 7 next year. So no first rounder. So okay, I mean I guess that's not too bad. But 10 picks in 2 years.
Yeah, and your first pick isn't coming until late in the second round.
Right.
And your first pick this year didn't come until, well, did they? I think they didn't have a second either, right? They had a third.
Yeah, a 3rd, a 5th, and a 7th or something like that.
So you've got picks, but you're not replacing the talent level. Like you're getting fill-in guys. You're getting rotational pieces.
Yeah.
2s and 3s. You're not pulling starters. Typically, you're not pulling a high-level starting player out of the late second, early third round.
Yeah.
I mean, just the way it is. So, they are going to be in some trouble because their players are getting older and they're not restocking the cabinet very quickly with anything that's great.
Money-wise, yes. Money-wise, so they have to hit on like these 3 picks from last year. You know what I mean? They really do.
But you're not going to hit. I mean, they're not going to get to that level.
No.
You're not going to get a DK Metcalf. I can't imagine. So do they end up in New England's position here in 2 years where they're having to restock the shelves with money? Yeah. And do they have it? Do they have that level of money?
I'll tell you what, thank God the Patriots did. Because that would have been ugly. That would have been just ugly.
I mean, it still could, though. If
it still could be because they may not work out. You're right. You're right. They may not work out. So
I mean, you give a lot of money to 2 tight ends.
Yep.
A lot of money to 2 tight ends, and if they don't play to, top tier, if they're both not top 5 tight ends in the league, you overpaid.
So I think numbers-wise, just my guess, you won't see both of them with the numbers. You can't. I don't think you can. I don't think you can see both of them. I don't think they're Gronk and Hernandez. And even when you look, even when they played, their numbers weren't off the charts. They were just dominant when they got the football.
No. And Johnny Smith only had 1 year, really.
Right.
I mean, you're rolling a lot into 1 year of success that doesn't translate all the time.
Right.
That might have just been a system fit that was great for him and it worked, but that's risky. And then who's the other
Hunter Henry.
Hunter Henry, who's had injury history like crazy. Every year he was supposed to dethrone Antonio Gates out there, and year in a year, hurt. So he could go down. He can go down like that. Jonnu Smith can end up being a system tight end that just had 1 great year. And now what? Now you've got Nelson Aguilar. That's scary.
Kendrick Bourne.
Come on,
N'Keal Harry. Where will N'Keal Harry fit in our wide receiving core this year? I don't know. I mean, it's too bad because when we drafted a wide receiver that early, I'm thinking I didn't know much about him, and then I want to say you texted me and was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you guys got Harry." So I had to look him up, and I'm like, "What a monster!" What? So I thought he was going to produce the way Metcalf did on Seattle.
Yeah.
That's what I expected.
Yep.
Instead, we got the polar opposite of DK Metcalf. In fact, I don't know what the opposite of DK Metcalf is, but I think we should use N'Keal Harry as that example.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, but you watched the highlight reels of him
Yes.
at Arizona State. It was unbelievable.
They
He
swung
won-
and missed. That's
He
all.
won every battle.
Yes.
You know, if it was a 50-50 ball, he was coming down.
He
with
was
it.
winning it, yes.
He was just owning defensive players. It was just, he was insane in college, and it doesn't make sense that it doesn't translate. But
it just didn't work. You know, it just didn't work out for whatever reason. Maybe it's the system,
yeah,
the team,
But
the
that's
motivation. You know, who knows?
that's what you should be worried about with these tight ends.
Of course.
Is
Of course.
this? We know that the Patriots system is difficult. I mean, Chad Johnson, or was he Ocho Cinco then?
Ocho.
He was Ocho. Yeah,
He was Ocho.
I mean, he couldn't get it at all.
Nope.
And
And
this dude-
Belichick loved him.
Yeah,
Loved
and
him.
he had been playing football at that point for. I mean, he was a very well seasoned veteran in the NFL at that point. So he had been playing football for at least probably 8-9 years when he came over to you guys, and he couldn't get it. Harry can't get it. If these tight ends come in and they can't get it or they can't stay on the field, Belichick's going to get questioned harder than he's ever been. Like if you blow this kind of money and what you've got is Aguilar and Bourne as your top guys and two tight ends that can't stay healthy or can't get the system, that's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly in New England, and that's going to be hard to explain.
Yeah, and I mean, the quarterback play is going to play huge in that.
Yep.
You know, who's going to be the quarterback this year? Looks like Cam start out, which I would expect it.
Yeah.
Unless you get a Russell Wilson type deal where, you know, and I know Travis was talking about it. You know, Russell didn't have a serious mentor, like I keep bringing up about the Jets. I still think he needs one, but I think Cam would at least be a good mentor. You know, at least he's played in a while. He made it to a Super Bowl. You know, there was times that he was a really scary quarterback on a not so great team. You know what I mean? He did. He played pretty well.
Yeah.
So
but do you think he wants to be a mentor?
I think if it was just this year, because I don't think the Patriots would release him. You know, they still got him under contract. So, oh God, did he really? Is he pitching tonight too, Kathy? Is he pitching?
I don't think so.
Okay, I was just curious.
Man, Ohtani is unreal.
How can you not love that guy?
God, I wish.
So
anyway, go ahead.
So, sorry, but kind of back to Cam. So I think if he beat him out, I agree, Travis. I think he would be fine this year, but then next year he's going to want to go try and play because I think him and Bill Belichick get along. I mean, their relationship is great, you know, and which is good. And you're right. That Patriots locker room respects Cam. They all talked about he was the first one in, last one out. His play just didn't show it last year. So now you're looking at a guy kind of like what the Yankees need. So say Cam doesn't start. I still think Cam could be that leader. That I don't know if you followed the Celtics back in the day, but the ML Carr guy waving the towel around on the sidelines, hyping everybody up, kicking everybody in the ass. But he just didn't play a whole lot, and then he ended up coaching and winning a couple championships. But I mean, it's. I think Cam could be that for a year. I mean, would you ask him to do that again next year? I mean, maybe, but I don't think Bill would. I think Bill would kind of let him loose to go see if he could start somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's the type of player he. I mean, I don't think he wants. I don't think he feels like he's at that point in his career.
Right. But I think if Matt Jones beat him out, I think he would support him wholeheartedly. And, I mean, then teams would be wanting to call him. Okay, you know what? You bit the bullet, man. Let's bring him in. Yeah. But if he doesn't beat Matt Jones out,
that's bad.
It won't be good for him. No. I mean, only because Belichick loves him. You know, Belichick played him all year last year, probably when Stidham should have come in, just to see what he had.
Agreed.
So if Belichick gave him all the chances in the world last year, and for whatever reason he doesn't start or he gets pulled by week 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever, man, I feel bad for him because the ability must not be there anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and it's gonna be something to watch there in New England because, man, and then that begs the question: if things do go sideways that hard, what does Bill do? You know what I mean?
Um,
If he swings and misses this bad, because he's still the GM, right?
yes, both.
So if he swings and misses this hard in free agency and spends the most money in free agency that's ever been spent by a team, what happens if he misses on 4 of them?
So I think it's going to depend on how they miss. Is it because of their play? Is it because of the quarterback play? I think he'd get more ridiculed for not addressing the quarterback better. But that's who was out there. Who was out there as a free agent? I mean, who gets you excited? I would have loved to see Jameis Winston come in, to be quite honest. But, I mean, for whatever reason, and I don't think Winston was going to leave New Orleans. I think that I don't think, everyone keeps saying there's a quarterback, fight there. I can't see how there is. Jameis Winston is far better than every competition, including the guy they just paid $200 million, which in real money is like $4 million. I still don't understand that contract, but I mean,
and why would you pick New England over the Saints? I mean,
right? You already know the system.
You know the system. You've got Michael Thomas. You've got Kamara. I mean, those are 2 gorgeous safety nets.
Right.
That you
didn't know who the Pats were going to sign. So
no.
I mean, who else was there to get excited? Everyone talked about Jimmy G, but Jimmy G has to be traded first.
Right.
We've
talked about this. Yeah. We've talked about this since the end of the season. Is it you can't just go get a Pro Bowl quarterback. It isn't.
They're not there.
No, they don't hit the market very often, and when they do, look at Kirk Cousins a couple years ago. That was the best quarterback to hit the free agent market in a decade, probably since Drew Brees.
Yeah.
And he got overpaid by the Vikings. And you look at what his play is, and it's not what his contract doesn't match his contract. And
it never has. And that guy's agent, if I was being drafted in the top 10 as a quarterback, whoever his agent is, that's my agent. Because I'm getting paid $200 million in 5 years, and don't really. I mean, what do you get? Franchised twice, 3 times.
Franchised twice.
It was just crazy money.
Yep.
Genius, absolute genius.
Yep.
But anyways, back to the. I don't know. I'm super excited about this year. Barring injuries,
so
you can't help. We both are because it's kind of like a truly rebuilding season for both of us. Last year, I'm not going to count that as rebuilding because we didn't rebuild. We had some players sit out. There was not much we could do. So, but this year, like you said, we spent $159 million. I'm really curious to see if that's going to equate to wins.
Yeah, because I'm curious to see what happens when it doesn't. That's what I'm praying for. You know me as a Jets
course
fan.
You are, and I'm hoping the Jets win 0 games but look better. That's all.
If the wheels come off with these deals, I mean, it's going. What are the fans going to do? I mean, I know it's in Bill we trust, and he's had a great run, but at some point, you've got to look and say something's going on here. We got to do something. If you spend that kind of money and you miss, you haven't been drafting well, and if you miss on the free agent side, they're going to be calling for his head. I would imagine it's going to be like maybe keep coaching, but you need to hire a GM.
Right.
And
if you think about it, it's really not fair. I mean, the guy's been on a killer run for 22 years.
Yeah.
And, they're going to nuke him after 2 years. But the problem is for people like me that's seen how bad they could be, I'm okay with it. I mean, I want to see him win, don't get me wrong. But I knew sooner or later, and you and I have talked about, sooner or later this is going to end.
Right.
I just don't want to see it end because it was so much fun. But now it's going to be kind of fun watching a rebuild. Now, whether or not that's with Bill or not, I don't know. But I mean, I hope it is because the guy earned a couple of bad seasons. He really did. He's earned a couple bad seasons. But the problem is, money is so crazy in the NFL now. Man, a couple bad seasons, that's going to tally on the wallet too.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, and then it's going to be very hard because then you're picking up dead money from bad contracts,
Yes.
and then it continues with the overpayments.
Right.
Like the Jets finally clearing themselves from Tremaine Johnson's ridiculous contract that that all that dead money's finally gone. But what an absolute bust
Yeah.
that was, and then you paid for it for another 2 years.
Right.
Paid for the bad decisions, and
Yeah.
you never know when it's going to go sour.
No. And it goes with draft picks. It goes with free agents.
Yeah.
Everybody looks great until they actually stop playing. And Carlos, I agree. There was no money for the pass last year. Nothing. So I agree. This is kind of the first year of rebuilding. I mean, it really is. But are we more concerned about this year or the year after that, when probably Mac Jones starts playing?
Yeah.
I would say the year after this year. I wouldn't say this year because everybody has to learn that system. Joe, like you said, it's not easy.
Yeah.
And I would say a 10-win season would probably be very good this year with whoever at quarterback. And I think Mac Jones will, if he does learn, unlike how other quarterbacks haven't in the past with Stidham.
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy G picked it up pretty quick. I mean, Bill wanted Jimmy G over Tom Brady. So there was something there that Bill wanted, but
yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I could see the season going one of two ways. Either you get off to a nice start, maybe 5-2, 6-3, something to that nature, to where things are looking pretty good, and then they're going to ride Cam.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Or you end up, 5-5, somewhere, 5-5, 2-4, something crazy, or mediocre, and you chalk the season up, and it's let's let Mac get some experience, roll with it. Expectations have to go basically to the floor, and just ride it out.
Yep.
Let him develop, and then
make
a plan for next year.
Yep. Make a plan for 2022 and come back fierce.
But it's
honestly, that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it kind of would because of the names we signed, but it really wouldn't because of the uncertainty at quarterback. I mean, you got to be a realist too. You can't just. But with our D, I think our D is going to mask a lot of offensive problems. And when I say offensive problems, quarterback problems. I think our running game, if we keep running the ball like we did and be top 5 in running, I mean, we'll be okay. That keeps fields off the field. That keeps teams off the field a lot. So,
yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. I mean, the whole East, the AFC East is going to be a blast.
It's new. It's new for us.
Yeah,
where all the teams are going to be, a lot more competitive than they were 5 years ago.
Right. And I wouldn't be surprised to see upsets throughout the season. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Jets beat Buffalo or the Patriots go down to Miami and beat Miami. I would not be surprised at all because there's a lot of young talent on all of these teams. Can Buffalo maintain? I mean, they added nice defensive players, but you got to account for injuries. You got to account for, play dropping off or different things happening. I mean, it happens every year, right? I mean, they were very healthy last year. If Stephon Diggs goes down, God forbid, what does that team do? What does that team look like? It's completely different. So you never know. But I mean, the influx of youth between Miami, New England, and the Jets is just insane. I mean,
that's huge.
And it's going to be fun because that's what makes it exciting. And at least for me, I've got like 2 years of excitement before I run back into that roller coaster of, this one didn't work either, but that's what I've been.
Quite
that's
honestly,
what I do every year.
I think you get 2 years of excitement of watching the Jets get better, and then the expectations have to be by the third year. Yeah. Okay, I better start seeing 11, 12, minimum 10 wins. Because if you don't, then it's a bust. Yeah. It really is. I mean, the next 2 years I think are going to be hard for the Jets. But they're going to be competitive. Again, I know I keep saying this. I don't think they're going to win a lot, but they're going to look a lot better as the season goes. Wilson is obviously the day one starter. Yes. So he's going to be rough. He's going to go through that seeing ghost period Then he's going to relax. Then he's going to trust his line. Their line is looking pretty damn good.
Yeah, and they just added Morgan Moses.
Yeah,
an outstanding right tackle addition to put across from Becton.
He's going to start. He's probably going to beat out what's his name. I can't remember the depth chart, but I was reading it. So
Noah Fant.
There you go.
Yeah.
So if he starts now, Fant is your backup. Not a bad backup.
No.
You know what I mean? So the Jets will get better. Their line will be stable. Again, health.
And the left side with Becton and Vera Tucker.
Right. That's insane. That's just insane.
That's going to be nice.
It's insane. So
that's going to give Zach some time to make decisions and get up to speed,
right,
which is going to be real nice. The wide receiver's nice. The defensive line is really nice too. The thing that's going to hurt is if we can't get pressure, the cornerbacks are terrible.
Yes, I was going to say that.
They're going to
killed.
If they can't get quick pressure on the quarterback and he has time to throw, there's going to be a lot of 40-yard completions.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad.
So then what happens? Then you can't pass rush. You drop your linebackers back, and now you get linebackers on wide receivers, and that's not good either. So now you're giving up 7-yard dump passes.
Yep.
25-yard deep passes.
Yeah, that or you're opening up gigantic holes for the running game to just plow through.
Right. So
it hinges on that defensive line for the Jets this year. If they can get pressure, which they have a great rotation. The defensive linemen that they've added, great. I mean, Vinny Curry, Jenkins. You still have Quinnen Williams, John Franklin Myers. I mean, they've got some nice rotational pieces that they can just keep moving and keep fresh as well. So that would be good. But if they can't get pressure, man, it's gonna be a long season for sure. But the offense has got potential.
So you're talking about D. Mosley hasn't played in 2 years, and I know he's a Bama beast. I know he is.
Yep.
But boy,
he's hungry.
He is. But is he going to start off like Gronk, where a little bit slower, not so much to football speed, and by the end of the year, he's catching 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl?
Yeah. I mean, you got to expect it to take a little bit of time. He's been in the league for a while, too, so it's not like...
Right. He got drafted in, 13, I think? 13, 14, so...
He's a little bit older.
So 8 years, which doesn't sound like a lot, but because he's only played 6.
Yeah.
If you think about it, he's only played 6 years, so...
Yep. But, we'll see. If he could come back, you got May back there as well. And from a lot of the stuff that I was reading, the guys that they drafted, they took a lot of defensive players in the back half of the draft, and there's a lot of good reviews coming out on those guys that came out later on. I mean, they're not going to be your day one starters, but really solid play, grasping the system really well and playing at a high level in the system, which is what you want when you're rotating those pieces around. And that sounds like what Robert Saleh's defense is designed around is a lot of pressure, movement, and matchups. So if he can do that, and get these guys that could go in and play a couple downs here and there, play to their strengths, and really utilize those strengths. That's what Belichick does.
Right.
He's got guys that you've never heard of that go in and play lights out for a couple plays because he knows what they can do, and that's where he maximizes it. And if Saleh can do that with the Jets, I'm not worried about it. He could take these guys and turn them into something great. And the offense, if Zach Wilson continues to grow and he continues to look anything like he did in college, I mean, he's going to make some plays that wow you, and he's going to make some plays that you shake your head. It's just
Well, the Jets are going to look organized this year. They may not execute the way they should, but they're going to look organized. The players will be where they have to be. Maybe the execution won't happen quite as fast or whatever, but they're not going to look like the Jets of the last 2 years. They can't, because just by, even if you kept the same team as last year, with
it can't be as bad.
A different coach with this coach, it's not bad. It can't be that bad.
Right.
It's impossible.
Was it you that sent me the thing, or somebody about Adam Gase spent the entire Thanksgiving?
Me.
Is it you? Spent all of Thanksgiving at the office, like game planning, and they scored 3 points
against it was like Cincinnati or Detroit, the last ranked. Oh God, where is it?
Yeah, it was. I think it was like Cincinnati, planning for Cincinnati, and they lost like 23-3 or something. Like that.
They scored 3 points. Yeah,
you spent all day on Thanksgiving game planning for it, and you get a field goal.
Still only scored 3 points.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's the worst coach of all time.
Yeah, I mean, he has to go down as one.
Yeah, but the fact that we talked about it all throughout the year. The Jets on their first possession would score points.
Yeah,
every game it was like a record. I think they had like 9 games that they scored on their opening drive, scored points.
It's like what did
9
they
consecutive
do?
games, and then that was it. Like they only game planned for that first field goal.
Play. Yeah.
Because they were very rarely touchdowns. They were most often a field goal.
Field goal, yes.
But yeah, so they had like 6 or 7 plays that they developed right out the gate, and then after that,
done.
Got nothing. Just go with the coach's recommendation on Madden.
So stupid. Yeah. Hey,
terrible.
What would Madden do right now?
Yeah. Right. Is anybody playing the game? What should we run right here? Oh, sweeps right. Okay. Yeah. Here, Levy and Bell, run into a wall. Yeah.
Right. Again.
Right. Yeah, they've got 8 in the box. Should we audible? No, just run it.
I'll tell you what, Kansas City's beating the Sox 4-1 right now in the second. We just can't beat Kansas City, man. We have a hard time against them.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Seattle and Detroit.
Man, you just can't.
Detroit's terrible, and they won one out of 6.
Yeah,
come on.
We can't beat Kansas City. Let's see, who's Benintendi playing? He's not, so still out.
Yep, and the Yankees are down 2-1 and to first. So.
Yes, they are.
Man,
let's keep that up.
Yeah, but I need them to beat the Angels. Keep them off our heels.
Look, let's just keep rooting for the Yankees to lose. It's so much easier that way.
Yeah, but that means I have to root for the Red Sox to win, which still hurts my soul.
All right, so you won't do that either. I understand.
Yeah, I'm an independent. I just watch the clashes.
Vote Joe Tedesco, independent.
Straight down the middle.
Down the middle.
No. All right. So I think we can wrap it with that. But
yeah,
so we're coming into the beginning of July. So we're 2 weeks out. 2 weeks out from training camp. I think at that point we'll probably jump back up to 2 shows a week and start doing our breakdowns. Rooting for the Yankees. I know. What are you gonna do? Gotta help the Mariners win that division. So need all the help they can get, but not this year. But we'll see. But yeah, about 2 weeks out should be the middle of July. Training camp should be ramping up, and so will we. We're gonna do our regular, same as we did last year. Go through, break down each division each week, or 2 divisions each week. As we preview and get ready for the season. And kind of like we did with the draft show, I would love to have a lot of you guys back on to talk about your teams, what we need to know, what we're not tracking, and get your excitement on what you expect from the year. So as we go through the divisions, if you're interested in coming on the show again and chatting about what your team's going to do, hopefully you've been keeping a good pulse of what they've done in the offseason and the OTAs and all that stuff to talk about it. But if you're interested, obviously let us know. We'll start putting together a schedule for that, get that ramped up, and get back into football hot and heavy, which I know we're all excited about. So until then, we'll talk next week. So that would be after.
What's Travis talking about?
Yeah. Oh, coming on the show.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And yes, Carlos, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So,
so are we going to do a fantasy league this year, Joe?
I think we have to.
I agree.
We have to, and I would love to do. And now we've got a nice group of people.
Yeah.
So definitely we could do that as well. We'll do the Pick'em League again, and compete against that, and which was fun last year. That was really fun doing the pick'em. I mean,
that was a good time.
That came all the way down. I mean, that was tight all the way to the very last week.
Who ended up winning? You, right?
And that was no, I think Mike won it.
Michael
won it.
I should have won.
I was close, but that was really fun. But yeah, we'll do another Pro Pick'em League. We'll get everybody in on that when I create it. I'll shoot everything out so you guys could all sign up. That was a blast. And then we'll definitely look into doing a fantasy football league. We'll do a 10-team league most likely, and we'll have 7 spots for people to jump into.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that as we roll into the fall here and get that going. Maybe try and do a live draft or something like that on here, which could be fun as well.
Oh boy, yeah, you know what? That would be a lot of fun, actually.
I think so. If I could probably just share the draft screen, and then everybody could be logged in, and we can just
pick. Oh yeah, and then we can razz each other about, Travis taking Trevor Lawrence in the first round
with the first pick in the
Yeah,
draft.
with the first pick in the draft. Don't do it, man. I'm taking him.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. He'll take Lawrence and Travis Etienne on the way back.
God. Yeah,
Boom!
He'll have 10 and 11.
Yeah. Pow pow. Yeah.
And then he wins.
So we'll get that all set up as we get into July and August time frames and get a draft before. We usually try and draft right before the season starts. That like week 4 of the preseason when everybody's done playing, so nobody loses a player in week 3. But now we only have 2 weeks of the bye of the preseason, so not going to happen, Travis. Actually, it probably will, because every year I think I have an outstanding team, and then everything goes off the rails. So, like this year when I had Christian McCaffrey and Michael Thomas in an auction draft. Spent most of my money on those 2 as my cornerstones, and voila, all done.
McCaffrey and Dak Prescott for me last year in 2 different leagues, and just
derailed.
Season down the toilet.
Yeah, it's tough. It could go down just like that.
Yeah.
So, all right. So definitely, if you want to, we'll start getting that together for, like I said, middle of July. We'll put a schedule together of how we're going to break down each division and get you guys on the show, have some discussions about it, get the fantasy things rolling again as well. And
good night, bro.
We'll have some football fun this year again. I'm really excited for it, especially with a bigger audience and more people involved as opposed to last year. So it's going to be a blast. But please, speaking of blasts, 4th of July on Sunday, please be safe. Come back with all your fingers, all your toes, and hopefully a fully intact house that's not burnt to the ground. So be safe, and we will see you guys on the